So for a company that doesn't innovate any longer, we've just seen an event where we've been given a brand new category in iPhone, a brand new design in iPhone Pro, and improvements throughout the range. I don't think they've done badly. I'm David, and this is D Talking Tech. Now, I've had these dummies for a couple of weeks now, so I knew what the iPhones were going to look like. But even with the dummies, you don't really take on board how good they're going to look until you see the event. And yesterday, and looking at the website this morning, and by the way, the website is totally redesigned as well. If you haven't checked it out yet, I'll leave something on screen for you to look at, but it's totally different. It's a really lovely redesign, all part of this comeback of Apple, I believe. But now we've actually seen the phones for ourselves, boy, do they look good. The color layout of that iPhone Pro in particular looks absolutely amazing, and I can't wait to get my hands on it. But aside of the phones, there was a low-key game changer in the event as far as I was concerned. And obviously, there may be some errors through this video. I've only had a few hours to watch the event as you did, take on board what we saw and assimilate the information. But there's a low-key game changer that I think could be huge. And that was that square sensor on the front-facing 18 megapixel camera. That could be massive. It really could. I think they said something like 500 billion selfies are taken every year. I'm not one of them. I don't really do the selfie thing, but it is clearly huge. And with that selfie camera now being able to change orientation, so you haven't got to change your phone for the orientation, it will recognize if you're in it alone, if you're in it with a group of people, if it needs to be landscape or portrait. That is massive. And this is, as I say, a company that's accused of not innovating any longer. They've come up with that one tiny little thing that the rest of the industry, you just know that the rest of the industry will follow. And also there was that, they showed that you could now record an event whilst recording you as well, so it's recording both sides. Again, that didn't really strike me as how important that was, but say I'm looking at something in the distance, not looking at the selfie camera, but the camera now with center stage, and finally, at long last, center stage makes some sense. Center stage will track on me as I'm looking at the event. It's massive. I think that whole selfie camera, the center stage now, the way it's, I just think it's huge. That square sensor, I didn't realize how important that was until I began thinking about it overnight. And as I said, the website is worth looking at too as well. Now, I'm not going to fill this video full of B-roll from the event. I've got more respect for you than that. If you're watching this video, if you've clicked on this video, you will have seen it. I want to, as we do here, start a conversation with you. I want to give you my point of view and hear back from you what you thought about the event and what we were given. So this is really just a way of opening up the discussion. And by way of that, I'm going to get straight into what we all want to talk about, which is the phones. And I'm going to start with the Air. Now, interesting, it wasn't called the 17 Air. It was just called the Air, which makes me wonder if it's a one and done. I think they've gone the route of this super thin phone getting ready for the Fold next year. So I wonder if this might be the only year, possibly, that we see the Air. It's priced at just £100 more than the 16 Plus was. So it starts at £999 with 3 configs, 256, 512 or 1 terabyte of storage. It's got the A19 Pro chip in it with a 6-core CPU and a 5-core GPU. And it's got the most Apple Silicon of any of the phones. It's got 3 lots of Apple Silicon in it. It's got the A19 chip, the A19 Pro chip. It's got the C1X modem. Now, I've used a C1 modem on my 16E. And that 16E, as you may well know, if you've watched any of my videos before, I can't say enough good things about. And the battery life on it is astonishing, which I'm assuming, in no small part, is down to that C1 modem that's in there. So we now got the second iteration of that, C1X. And also, the Air and all of the iPhones, I did check on the website, have got this new N1 chip in it, which is their networking Wi-Fi Bluetooth chip, which should make things like AirDrop quicker, I assume. And that's in all of their phones across the range this year. It's IP68 splash and water resistant, which I think it was before. Now, it only has a single camera on it, as you can tell there. We all knew that was going to be the design, but sometimes it's not just about the numbers. Just because it's got a single camera doesn't matter so much as the quality of the camera. It's a 48 megapixel fusion camera with a 1x and 2x on it. And of course, you've got the 18 megapixel selfie camera that we just talked about as well. The Air and the Pro and Pro Max are ceramic glass front and back. The iPhone 17 has only got ceramic glass on the front, but apparently it's better ceramic glass and it's got some anti-reflective qualities to it now. So again, we'd heard that there's going to be better anti-glare, anti-reflection coating. Maybe, hopefully, they've solved that as well. The battery, we believe in the Air, is a 3,149 milliamp hour battery. Now, we had heard that the battery life was expected to be pretty poor on the Air. But maybe it's not going to be as bad as we thought, because Apple on their website, Apple measure things in video hours. You might not agree or disagree with their metric, but at least it's consistent. And they're saying that it's got the same video playback time as compared to the 16 Pro. So you're going to get 27 hours of video playback time or 40 hours with the battery pack that you knew was coming, and they are selling a battery pack with it, which is odd because if it's got 27 hours of video playback, unless there's something we're not seeing that they know it's going to be absolutely hammered in day-to-day use, that sounds like a reasonable battery life. It's got the Pro display, of course, all the way from 1 Hz up to 120 Hz, 3000 nits of brightness, and it's a 6.5-inch display. All in all, I think this Air, has over-delivered again. Unless there's something, as I say, that we're not seeing. And I will be buying one of those. So if there's anything you particularly want me to look at, do let me know. But it sounds like it's a lot better than we feared it might be. One of the odd choices is it's only got a single speaker, which I really don't know why they went that route. I'm assuming it's space. Now, talking of space, they made quite a big play of it throughout the event, whereas they're moving away from physical SIM cards. And I want your help on this. I mentioned it in my newsletter last week. If you haven't subscribed to my newsletter, by the way, you can do that via my website, and there's details of that in the description. I've never used an eSIM, and I'm a little bit skeptical and worried about swapping, so maybe you can give me some advice on that. How good is it? How easy is it? How practical is it to swap eSIMs from phone to phone? My main number has always been a physical SIM card, and I've got a couple of SIM cards you can imagine for the phones that I try. I've always had physical cards for them. So it sounds like, well, clearly for the Air, I'm going to have to go eSIM. So can you tell me, is it straightforward, or are there any horror stories that are waiting to come my way? So it sounds like with ceramic glass front and back and this new anti-reflective coating, it sounds like they're going to be an awful lot stronger. And this phone, of course, is the only phone in the range that's got titanium in it still. They dance around that very nicely. This is polished, I think it's aero grade titanium on the Air. So it's the only phone in the range now with titanium. It's going to be strong, but no matter how strong it is, you're going to want to make sure that you've got cases and screen protectors ready for your new phone. So with that in mind, if you've watched any of my more recent content, then you'll know I've been trying out some iPad accessories from ESR. Now, on the back of that, and knowing, of course, that the iPhone 17 season was just around the corner, I got back in touch with them and asked if they had any plans for cases and screen protectors for these new phones. And as you can see, the answer was a big, fat, resounding yes. As you'd expect from a brand like ESR, they've got you, well, quite literally covered for whatever iPhone 17 you're about to order and buy. They've got solutions for the entire range that you can check out over on their website, but the cases and screen protectors I'm going to focus on in this video are for the iPhone 17 Pro Max that I'll be ordering on Friday. First, let's look at this, the CyberTough magnetic case, which comes in 5 colors. Now, this is the kind of case that I'd reach for if I know I'm out for the day in the city or in situations that I know I'll be rough on the phone. It's super tough with 7x military grade protection, which will keep your new phone safe from drops of up to 23 feet. It's got a tough, hard outer shell, which doesn't feel particularly nice to the touch, say unlike their soft magnetic case, but I guess it's horses for courses. With this tough shell and raised corners, you know you get that feeling it's just going to do its job really well. It does add some bulk to the phone though, but again, this is the kind of case you'd slip on if you want top-tier protection over pure aesthetics. It features a 3-layer design with raised edges around the screen and camera lenses. And I was surprised though, even with all this tough grade protection, the buttons still have a decent amount of tactile feedback and clickiness to them. The phone fits in easily and snugly in the case, although I suggest you put the phone in at the bottom first. When I fitted it at the top first, I found this bottom bit kept catching. As you can see, your camera bar is fully protected with this zinc alloy camera guard, and you also get this neat sash stand. Now, that sash stand doubles up not only as a desk stand, but also in my case as a tripod. It's versatile with angles ranging from 15 degrees through to 69 degrees and works in both landscape and portrait orientations. It supports the camera control feature, providing powerful protection for your iPhone's most vulnerable areas, saving you from potential expensive repair bills further down the road. Of course, it's MagSafe compatible, as you'd expect from ESR. And actually, those magnets, what I'm talking about, they're impressive, but they're worth a mention because they're twice as strong as some of the cheaper, less premium brands with, I think it's 1500 G of magnetic force. And when this case locks on, trust me, you know it's there. It's not going anywhere. ESR's classic hybrid magnetic case offers all-round protection once again, but it features these more subtle air guard corners, helping to protect your phone from drops of up to 11 feet. It's available in 8 colour combinations and has this raised edge protection with 1.2mm screen edge and 2.4mm camera edge that keeps your screen and lenses scratch-free. And just like the other case I mentioned, it also has that versatile sash stand and peak performance MagSafe magnet too. There's a little more give in this case around the edges, as you can see, but the buttons still feel clicky enough. As you'd expect, it's less bulky than the other case, and it's probably a more comfortable, everyday carry kind of case that will give your phone decent protection, but without adding too much bulk. Of course, you'll want to protect the front of your new iPhone as well, and that's where this ESR Amorite Pro screen protector comes in. It's made with accessory glass by Corning, which is the supplier of glass to both Apple and Samsung displays. One of the features I love about it most is the anti-reflective coating, which helps to cut reflections by as much as 50%, even in direct sunlight or under lights. It's SGS certified, so you know it's been thoroughly tested, and it actually absorbs up to 10 times the impact of other generic protectors, and it'll help protect your new screen from drops of over 8 feet. In the box, you'll find all you need to fit 3 screen protectors and this tray. Now, this tray helps you get the screen protector on without too much fuss first time with no dust or air bubbles, and it actually works. Make sure to not only clean the screen thoroughly, but also dry it properly too. Check by holding up to the light that there's no dust, and then place it face down in the tray. Press down evenly and firmly, and then pull the green tab with one long, even pull. After you've done that, just carry on pressing for a moment with fairly heavy, even pressure. And then, as you can see, your protector is on perfectly. I've tried it 2 or 3 times to make sure it works, and it does. Just take your time. Once it's on, you don't really notice it, but although it may weaken it ever so slightly, I'd like to see them have a cutout for the dynamic island, and more importantly, for the front camera. This is the ESR 3-in-1 magnetic charging station with Cryo Boost. This station is the first to bring you wide-speed wireless charging. That's right, this charger actually does the impossible and will charge as fast as wired charging thanks to Cryo Boost, which actively cools the iPhone's logic board. Cryo Boost means you'll get safer, cooler, and faster charging. It does it by having built-in fans that help reduce charging temperatures by 6.5 degrees. And trying it out over the past few days, my 16 Pro Max, it actually felt noticeably cooler than when I've used other chargers. The stand comes with a 50-watt charger brick, and you can charge your Apple Watch and AirPods with the 5-watt speeds, and your iPhone at 25-watt speed simultaneously, and all that with no clutter, keeping your desk clear, clean, and tidy. It's fast as well. It'll charge your phone to 50% in under 30 minutes. And of course, you can mount your phone in either landscape or portrait mode. Apple this year officially lent into Qi 2, and this 3-in-1 charger is both Qi 2 and Apple Watch certified. So you know you're buying quality from a renowned brand that will charge your gear safely as well as quickly. This Qi 2 charger isn't available just yet. ESR are releasing it in the US on September the 15th, and then in the UK sometime in October. But having used it for the past few weeks, it's something you're going to want to try out for yourself. The cooling works ever so well, and the only small design flaw I've come across is that the faceplate isn't adjustable, and in my opinion, the phone sits at a slightly odd angle. All ESR products come with this Care Plus card and QR codes to help you get up and running quickly, although the QR code for the charger didn't work. It gave me a 404 error message. And all this gear I've shown you comes with a 24-month warranty from ESR and full customer support. So while you're waiting for your new iPhone 17 to turn up, please promise me to do the right thing and make certain to order a case and screen protector and have it waiting, ready to keep your new phone damage-free from day one. Let's carry on now with the Pro. It's got this unibody aluminium design, which should make it much, much stronger. And also it should have better reception as well, because as I understand it, the antenna is going to go all the way around this island at the top, this plateau at the top. And that plateau has become incredibly important because basically in these phones now, everything is in that plateau, which means that the rest of the phone is just battery and display. So that's why they're getting better battery life. So although it looked aesthetic, I think it's been incredibly important to the design of these phones to have that, as we now know, it's called a plateau at the top. Heat transmission is going to be better as well, not only because of that unibody aluminium frame that we've talked about, but also because it's got a deionized water-infused vapor chamber. They showed that on the event, and so hopefully, I didn't have any issues with heat on my 16 Pro Max, but I know some people did have issues on the 16 Pro and Pro Max, so hopefully now with the unibody aluminium, helping with heat dissipation and also this vapor chamber, that should be better. The design, I think, looks beautiful. Nothing could prepare us for how good it was going to look once you've actually seen it. And clearly, like you, I've not seen it, but looking at the website, it looks beautiful. And it's orange every day of the week for me. And that's where they've surprised us. We've actually got these really strong colours now because the colours on the Air that I just spoke about are much more insipid. You've got a space black, cloud white, light gold and sky blue. But on here, we've got that really bright, vivid orange and that dark blue. So if you like a dark phone, the dark blue is going to be for you. But I'm going to go for that orange all day long. We've got 3 48 megapixel cameras on the back now. And one of the features I've loved on my 16 Pro Max has been the different lenses on that main camera that I've had. I've had 24, 28, and 35. Well, here we've got so many choices. You've got a 200mm lens, which is the equivalent to the 8X. You've got 100mm, 48mm, 35mm, 28mm, 24mm, 30mm, and a macro as well. It makes these cameras still class leading. It's got 3000 nits of brightness on its display. And we've also got an improved video codec. We've got something that's called ProRes Raw. Now, I didn't really fully comprehend what that meant when I was watching the event, but I've gone away and done some reading. Basically, if I've understood it right, as a videographer, it means you've got more control in post. If you've got your white balance or your ISO wrong, you've got more scope to adjust it in post. So if you're doing a lot of filming outdoors, in here, for instance, when I film, it's constant and consistent light, so it's not so much an issue. So I can see why ProRes Raw would be good. And I also think it's more of a compressed codec as well. So you'll get slightly smaller files. It's got Gen Lock on there, so if you're using loads of different iPhones or loads of different cameras, you can get them absolutely time synced perfectly, which just goes to show that they're still leaning into the iPhone Pros being for professional use and their professional credentials. And if you've seen, I've been at photo shoots recently, and if somebody's not using a camera, they are using an iPhone. No other phone comes into it. And there's a reason for that, because iPhones are still class leading and the best. And they're used by professionals for a reason. It also looks if we're getting volume meters on the native camera app, which if we are, is just another meaningful, small, but meaningful improvement as well. The iPhone 17 Pro starts at $1,099 and the Pro Max at $1,199 with 4 options of storage, 256, 512, 1 terabyte or 2 terabytes, which I think is for the Pro Max only. And there was no real mention of the Pro Max. That's what surprised me. I thought we'd get to the end of the event. I'm going to talk about my thoughts of the event right at the end of the video. But I thought we'd get mention of what was special on the Pro Max this year. But it seems it's just the battery. The battery on the Pro Max we're expecting to be 5,088 milliamp hours, and on the 17 Pro, 4,252 milliamp hours. On to the iPhone 17 now. Again, meaningful improvements there. It wasn't the forgotten cousin this year. We've got a battery that we believe is going to be 3,692 milliamp hours, and it's the only phone in the range to have the A19 chip, not the A19 Pro. But you've got always on, you've got the selfie camera, ProMotion is across the range now, all the way, a full ProMotion from 1 Hz up to 120 Hz refresh rate, real-time notifications, 3,000 nits of brightness. I mean, in all respects, it's virtually, it's a great phone. They haven't forgotten about it this year. It hasn't been left behind. And I think I'm right in saying that the iPhone 16 had 22 hours of playback, and the iPhone 17 has got 30 hours of video playback. So again, massive improvements in battery life. There's 5 colors available with the iPhone 17. It starts at $799. I thought that's the other great thing. Their prices have remained static as well. They managed to dance around the whole tariff situation. It starts at £799, and it comes in 2 configs, 256 or 512. Now, let's talk about AirPods Pro 3. There was a lot spoken about a change of design in AirPods Pro 3, and we didn't see it. As far as I can tell from the pictures on the website, and they certainly didn't mention the event, the case is exactly the same. The outer design of the AirPods is still exactly the same. And most of the improvements on AirPods Pro 3 are health-related, not audio-related. I have checked. I did put a mess up on Threads yesterday. I wasn't sure if it had the H3 chip or the H2 chip. It's still H2. So I don't think there's going to be any great improvements in audio or ANC, but it's in certainly. And I wrote about this on a story on Medium. You can find me on my website. I'm convinced big things are planned for AirPods. There's something they're putting a lot of effort into AirPods at the moment, and the features they're giving it, which we saw at the event yesterday with live translation. That could be brilliant. And also with the heart rate sensor as well. So they're really leaning into the features on AirPods. They seem to have listened to people as well, and they're trying to make them more comfortable. You've now got a choice of 5 ear tips, and all those ear tips have got foam in them as well, so it should be an even better, tighter, more secure fit, and hopefully fit more and more people. With the new AirPods Pro 3, they've kind of danced around or done themselves out of some business, because you won't actually need an Apple Watch as much. For instance, you'll be able to monitor calories burnt and how many steps you take directly to your iPhone. So even if you haven't got an Apple Watch, you're going to get decent metrics from your AirPods Pro 3. And I work out most mornings. I use Apple Fitness most mornings as well. I'm constantly using my watch. And if the AirPods Pro 3 can give me even more data, then it's all a win. And again, I was surprised that they kept the price the same at £219. With the new features, I thought we're almost absolutely guaranteed to see a price increase, but we haven't. Still £219. Time to talk about the watches now. I'm not as into the watches. I have got an Apple Watch. I think mine's a Series 8. It's due for a change. I'd love to get a Watch Ultra, which maybe I'll do over the next couple of months. But they were big in talking about, for instance, hypertension, blood pressure, sleep apnea. How much do you look at the data that you get off your watch? I don't. I use it as a fitness tool to measure what I'm doing, but I don't actually look at the data that's on there. I haven't looked at my REM sleep, my sleep patterns. I get notifications saying if I've hit my sleep goals, but that's about it. So I'd be interested to know how much you actually closely look and analyze at the data that your watch gives you. So starting on the bottom, the S3 gets 5G, gets the S10 chip, it's faster charging, and you get an always-on display. Again, as I said, meaningful improvements across the range and everything we saw. The Watch 11 gets 5G, ceramic shield glass, 24 hours battery life. Now that is important because having just mentioned sleep tracking, they clearly want you to wear your watch as much as possible. And if you can get to the point where you only need to charge your watch once a day, what I think I'll get in the habit of doing is throwing it onto my charger here, the ESR charger I've got here in the studio during the day, and then wear it to bed and sleep with it through the night so I can track my sleep better. And I must get used to looking at the information it's giving me. With the Watch Ultra, you get 5G, of course. It's got wide-angle OLED with slimmer bezels, so you do get a wider viewing angle. It's getting satellite connection and SOS connection as well. I won't ever be in a position, I don't think, that I'll need to use it. Even when I go training, it's not extreme. So in some respects, I know that the Watch Ultra is not for me. I just love the look of it. It's got a 3000 nit bright screen on it, which is massively bright and way brighter than what I'm used to. And it's got a 42-hour battery life as well. So I think those are kind of the highlights of everything we saw at the event. And talking of the event, from my point of view, and I'll be interested to say, this is very much opening up a conversation and a discussion with you. From my point of view, the event was better because it was shorter and tighter. It was 70 minutes. We didn't even get, as I say, that bit about the iPhone 17 Pro Max at the end. It was virtually unspoken. There was no faff, there was no fillers, there was no Mother Nature feature. It was just detail. Apart from the odd kind of Johnny Ive-esque voiceovers to some of the design elements, it was just fact after fact after fact. Now, I've been to some events this year. I've been to a Samsung event. I've been to an Honor event here in London. And having watched this as well, this was just tighter and all the better for it. There was just less fat on it. We just got the details that we wanted. They're even getting some new wearables as well as that new crossbody strap, which I totally understand why they've developed it. Because in capital cities, London is every bit as guilty as any other capital city, phone theft is huge. You don't want to be seen with the phone in your hand. So with a crossbody strap fitted onto the lanyard, it's a lot more secure. Theirs looked like it had some sort of magnetic fittings. I'm not sure how secure that is, but it's not something I'd want to wear. I'd rather put my phone in my pocket and use my AirPods. But is it something you're interested in? I know I've got some new cases coming along as well. But I just think, all in all, it's a sign that Apple is coming back. Apple are bouncing back. They've been through a terrible year, but they've listened and they've come back, not just with great new OS. I've been loving iOS 26 on the iPhone 16e and now on my 16 Pro Max as well. It is a huge step forward. And now with these new phones as well, I cannot wait. You can go and sort out your order on the website now. Pre-orders start on Friday, and the phones themselves and all the goods start to drop on the 19th of September. I'm going to put my order in on Friday for AirPods Pro 3, for an Air, and also a 17 Pro Max in that beautiful orange. And if you've got anything you want me particularly to test, let me know. I'm going on location with the phones the moment they arrive. On the Friday they arrive. On the Monday I'm going off on location for a couple of days shoot. If there's anything you want me to test on them, do let me know. But all in all, I think that event we just saw was, I think it overhit what I honestly expected it was going to do. And Apple, I think it's safe to say, are back.